I'm painting a lovely little scene from France. It's a place called Terrasse, Saint-Pierre. Very nice, very well spoken. Well done me. So anyway, so I'm going to start off with a very rough sketch of this place. So we have this, just put an indication of where the chimney stack is going to be, and there's the top part, and we'll come straight away down to I think around about there should be right. We've got one break there, and we've got another one there, and another one there, and they're all pretty equal like that. And then at the bottom there we have this lovely archway here, this entrance and a lovely archway. Now here we're going to have lots of little people, so just put a couple of little blobs there, and we are quite overtaken with some trees. One area, so I'll just put the roof up of the next building there, and we'll put some trees just to indicate that these trees are going to be around about there. So at this side we've got this lovely canopy, and don't forget lots of people there, so this is all going to be very dark. It's going to come down on top of these light areas of these people here. Don't have to worry about that so much, don't need any detail in there, it just detracts from the whole scene. Now around about 1, 2, 3 down, just at the top we have, in the distance we've got some buildings, all the way along this little alleyway, this line, and we have some more canopies here. I'll just indicate those there. We've got an umbrella there as well, so another umbrella kind of canopy there, and we'll leave a couple of little spaces there for heads, people walking around that area. In fact, there should be the same light level as that part there, so I'm going to have to correct that. And thought I had a rubber. Yes, I have. Just correct this part here. It needs to be a little higher up. Right, okay, so heads should always be at the same kind of eye level, whether they're far away or close to you, depending on which angle you're standing at. Sometimes they can get a little bit close to you like that, people sat down, but there you go. Anyway, so we've got some canopies there. I'm going to leave that umbrella thing. And down here, going to the back of that, we've got some buildings. They're going to be very much in shadow, I think, because there's lots of little detail there which would detract from the whole scene. Don't want to do that. We want the scene to be balanced all the way along. So that's basically the shape of that area there. We have got a couple of, we will be putting a few lines of perspective in there, and come down there, and people will be on this level here. It goes around there. We don't need to worry about anything further than there. Here we have we need to indicate we have got this patterned walkway here, and this tree comes down, some big trunk there. Anyway, right the way down the middle we're just going to put a line just to indicate where we are painting a set of windows, and they're all in the same position, central, and they all start near to the top of that line here. and the end a little bit up. Okay. Now, on that one there, there's a kind of a pattern there. Oh, and there's one there as well. And I'm guessing there's a smaller one there. There we go. I think that's about it for the drawing. So, now to the painting part. Okay, I've just cleaned my palette roughly. I'll just point to what I've got here. We've got a neutral grey there. We've got a bitume. You can only get that from Saint-Pierre. And we've got a Payne's grey. And here we've got a Prussian blue. And that one's French ultramarine. There's purple. That's phthalo green light. That one there is olive green. That one there is a gold green or green gold. Burnt sienna. And that one is quinacridone rose. You can use opera rose as well. Basically mix put two colours in there. Cadmium red, cad yellow, orange. That one is a new one I've put in there. It's called magnesium brown. There. This one is a beautiful, beautiful colour. That is a quinacridone burnt orange there. And there's just a couple of white things if ever I need to pastel colour any of these colours up. That's it. Oh, and there I think I put a little bit of cerulean blue in there, so I've just left that there. Might use that, might not. Anyway, so there are the colours. I'll run them across the bottom of the screen so you don't forget them. And the first thing I'm going to do is to get my brushes wet. I'll be using these three main brushes. There's my they'll put a link to my website where you can find these brushes. Right, there we go. So wet the whole lot first, all that part there. I want to create a mood. So the best way to create a mood is create a colour or a set of colours that blend into each other and move across your paper. So I think what I'll do is I'll try a little bit of this manganese colour around about there. I think we'll put a bit of the phthalo around about here. These are just going to be very, very light background colours. Let's pick a bit of this. That's my shirt, that cerulean up there. Oh no, it's completely gone now. So we'll put a bit of, this is a little bit of that blue there, French ultramarine, and we'll put a little bit of, bit of purple with that as well, just over there. And what else should we do? Let's just grab those from there. I think we should cool this area down with a bit of neutral and a bit of Payne's grey. Payne's grey is lovely there. Payne's grey and a little bit of that blue there. That French ultramarine. And all we're going to do is we're just creating a little bit of tone. It's like an underpainting, a tonal painting. Now we'll just go across there. There you go. Let's just stop it from running down to my shirt, eh? There we go. And I quite like that that overall feel of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of this quinacetone burnt orange just to the mixture there. Come on, let's get it nice and rich. Around there, just around there. So we've got this top part of the building, it's quite light. And it's just blended into these different colours here. I'll make that lovely and green. There we go. Now, got lots of heads at the bottom here, which I don't really want to lose the light off. So I'm going to roll my hanky up into a little point at the end, like a torsion. And just here, just going to lift these bits out. There you go, no great shakes, is it? That was easy, wasn't it? Didn't even need any of that old masking fluid that rips your paper to pieces. Flipping hate that stuff. It's probably because I'm not putting it on properly. But no, I'm not a great fan. There we go. Have we got any other highlights that we want to keep nice and bright? I think there's one just under there, just under this. A canopy of green. We don't really want that. I'll get rid of all that green there, because the tree's supposed to be just shaping that for us. So lift that bit out there, and I'm going to lift a little bit of that sky, that side of that building out. All I'm doing, I'm pushing, just pushing down. Don't rub, don't scrub, push down there like that, and then just gently touch the edges of it, and it create a little bit of texture for you later. And that's fine. So now I think what we shall do, leave that to dry. But now it's more or less dried, but there are some little damp parts just underneath this this tree. I'm going to take advantage of that by adding a little bit of darker green underneath there, because I want it to be a soft transition from the bottom to the top there. Anyway, just take advantage of those little gifts that are given to you by God himself. He says, there you go, that's one there, just I'll let you have that bit there as well. Let's hope that makes a nice difference now. So what I'm going to do is start to go a little bit drier there. So I'm going to just lift out some of that area, just going to dampen that area just a little bit to get that transition going. There we go. Now we've started to create a little bead there, so I'm just going to lift that out with my thirsty brush. Okay, right, I'm happy with that little bit there. Now what we're going to do next is let's start working on the top. So I'm going to get a bit of this neutral tint and a little bit of Payne's grey with a little bit of this ultramarine blue. I'm going to water that down quite a bit. As you can see, it's quite loose. Now I'm just going to keep my baby finger on the paper. Just gonna dab, because at the top of this building we've got lots of little bits of detail there. And I'm going to be careful not to go into my window, which I've just done there. Stupid old boy. Now to bring it down a little bit, that's all. Down there. Down there. And you know, I'm going to just mess that colour up a little bit by adding a little bit of this manganese colour, that manganese brown. from before, just to bring those down there. And back into that, because I do like that. I do like that. And I think we'll go back into there with this chimney stack. Oh yeah, that's all we need for that. And some of that colour's run down. And in fact that little chimney pot there is very orange, so I'm going to use a bit of this orange here. See what that does to the whole thing. There we go. Right, back onto this. So pull that down there, join it up. And bring that over here. Right, now this eave goes up a little bit, and we've got this, so that colour there, just over there, bosh. It's just an indication that we've got a roof over there. Do its thing, thirsty brush. I'm going to bring that out around there using, just turn it around the corner a little bit there. There we go. Right, let that dry nicely. Now then, this colour is a little bit harsh for what I want next, so now I'm going to add, this is a little bit of titanium white watercolour paint. Now it's going to be a little bit, it is watercolour, so I'm not jumping over to gouache or anything like that. It'll make it a little bit pastel-y, and I don't mind that. It's just going to lighten that colour up a little bit for me, and take away some of the harshness of that. In fact, you know what? No, we won't. We will leave that like. I was going to go right away over that window, but I don't think so. No, we'll just add a bit of water to this now as it comes down. Over there. Let's change that colour up a little bit. I don't like to have just one big block of colour. I just don't like it. It's nice to have other bits just moving into it. And there we go. We'll bring that down now. While it's collecting there, that beads there, you can keep this paint on the go. You can fetch it right the way down here, so it looks like it's one great big painting block. And fetch a bit of that other colour here as well as we move in closer down. Further down you get, it becomes a little bit darker, a little bit. And now I'm going to negative paint these trees in this tree in here. So what I'm doing is I'm painting my building and moving it into the tree, So it's creating little edges there, as if that painting has painted into that area there. If you don't quite know if I've not explained it very well, then do a little research on negative painting. Now come down here, up to that part here. Now we've got a lovely block of red here, just to give it a bit of style to this building here at the bottom there. That's nice. I will leave a little block there for the menu on the wall. There we go. Now we'll move this over here to this part, and we're going to have a little underneath this canopy there. It's going to be nice and dark, and this is where we're going to negatively paint our people's heads. So we're just leaving little gaps, little where the heads will be later on. And don't make them all uniform, not like they're all standing in a line. Some are talking, there might be 2 together there might be 3 together, so don't make it to be too uniform. And I'm going to bring this down here. I like it when the colours mix together like that. Just makes it feel a little bit more alive, you know. And I'll do this part here. Yeah, I think we'll have a bit of shadow under here as well. Okay, now that bead has done its work. It's took us all the way down there. I can use my thirsty brush and lift that part off there, because we don't really want an intense amount of pigment at the bottom of anywhere. We want it to be quite evenly dispersed. Disturbed, and then is that, don't they? Right, let's leave that to dry. So now this has dried, as you can see, where we've painted our building is in here. It's created like an edge on the tree there. That's the lightest part of the tree, and that's called the negative painting. That part there. So we painted around it to create its shape. Now, that's going to be very handy for us, but firstly I want to concentrate on just these back areas here. So I'm going to use a bit of this dark shadowy colour just to bring in some shapes of this building, which is on the left hand side. And we'll mix a bit of this colour with it as well. So just kind of drawing the outline of these shapes here. And we'll go back onto there. Now what I'm going to do is just add some water, bring this down, because it could be quite tiresome just trying to get it all down there. And over at the back here we've got this part of the building, and I'm going to create an area that looks like the shadow has been cast along there. There we go, and we're going to negative paint those little canopies there. There we go. And we'll bring that over here. We've got people around here, so we'll make sure we leave these areas nicely unpainted. There we go. And it just looks like something's going on there. We're inviting to the viewer into our little world to make their own mind up as to what is happening there. Now, just create a little bit of extra interest over here. Right, so that's stage one done really, but you know, we don't call I don't call this background area any part of it really. That's just preparing your page ready for a bit of tone. But this is the first main stage where you're putting blocks of objects in. And these are just basic flat areas, and once they've all dried, this is when you can move in with the next stage, which I think is you're shaping the objects now. You're shaping them. You're putting a little bit of, you're not putting full shadows in yet. We're just inferring that there is bits of interest to this scene, so we can put in things like, well, they're kind of half shadows, aren't they really, but they're not the deep shadows that we worry about. So these are just bits of interest, like we've got a part on the wall there. I wouldn't class that as a shadow. So and see, we've got a squiggly old thing at the top there. There we go. And this thing, it comes right the way down. So I'm not putting every single line in it and all at the right angles. Don't want to do that. What you must always remember when a painting is the artist's interpretation of that scene. It's not a direct representation of that scene. It's an interpretation, and it's how they see it. So if it doesn't look perfect to you, well, as a viewer, well, that's a you problem, not the artist's problem. It's what the artist wanted to paint and how he wanted to paint it, or she wants to paint it. So right, now I'm going to go into this area with this neutral. It's quite a neutral tint, that. So I'm just going to create an area that looks like a window. We can put more detail on those later. Now there's a little window like this bit over here, and a little bit of detail there. All the bits of detail, that's all we're doing. Now this canopy there, the canopy is quite brown, it's quite boring, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to make it into a lovely red. There you go, as is my right. That's what they say, isn't it? Intensify that little area there a bit more. And the top part of this, I'm going to create right, we're getting there bit by bit. On this side, let's create a few little bits of interest. I'll make a fresher mixture up of this there, and I'm going to loosen that down a little bit because I don't want it to really jump out this. I want these to be very light, just light insignificant bits. Add a bit of that colour there to it as well. There we go. And we'll put some bits of information up there like this. Bring it down there because it's starting so wet there. And there we go. Right, underneath these people here we have this ground area here. Need a bigger brush for that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of warmth to this. I'll add a bit of this pinky colour. A mixture of pink and a little bit of purple. So let's have a look at what that does, and a little bit of pink there as well. Over there. As we get closer to the viewer, make it darker. Don't know why, it just works. So let's let that dry.